Hey everyone, how you doing today? I figured I would do a video on this. I don't, consider myself an expert on Niger at all, but I found a pretty cool website where it's got a lot of the facts on it, demographics, things like that. So I figured I would at least provide my input on that. So give me 1 second here. Let me put it pulled up. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's no good.
Cars
Yeah,
and buildings
one
were
sec.
set on fire in Niger's capital,
All right, there we go.
Niamey, on
Let's see.
Thursday,
There
after
we go. Let me
hundreds of
rewind this.
supporters of a coup.
So, obviously, look, you can check the video out, right? It's not starting off well. They're having serious problems over there. I guess there was like a government overthrow, a coup of the democratically elected president, which is interesting because it was democratically elected. So, I guess if you're not happy with the way things are going, you can just overthrow the government, if you want to. So, yeah, definitely some issues over there. We'll allude to some of that, but I'll just kind of go through the video here and we can kind of talk it over. But as you can see, you know, speaking on what I think God would believe, just look at what God would have to watch. Look at this. So you've got this car over here. The hood's up. I'm assuming someone looted the battery or parts out of there, I'm guessing, right? These cars are probably all busted out. Everything's stolen. So you're stealing everything. You're setting things on fire. You're destroying the environment and burning up all these chemicals and metals and everything else going up into the atmosphere. So destroying the place he built for you, violating many of the commandments here, violence, theft. Probably some people are being killed if I had to guess. I don't have the exact figures with me, but I'm sure people are being assaulted. This doesn't look very friendly. And this is something that you'll see. I think I'll get to the facts here in a minute, but I think like Niger is 98 or 99% Muslim country, right? Islam. So violent religion started by a violent false prophet, and with the adherence of that in this country, and you can see in many, Islamic countries, you're going to see a lot of violence, and it's to be expected, right? It's a fake religion. It's built by a false prophet under the direction of a demon. It definitely wasn't Gabriel he was talking to in the cave. But yeah, it is what it is. So a lot of things have to be fixed, and unfortunately, Islam is one of the biggest scourges on the planet that we have because of the mindset that it puts into people, and they think that, oh, I'm gonna go like blow people up, and I'm gonna go to heaven, and there's gonna be all these virgins that want to have sex. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. First of all, if you make it to heaven eventually, you're not going to be having sex. That sex is something reserved for, it's carnal, right? It's for humans, it's for animals, it's something we enjoy. It's not something like in an angelic realm you're going to be seeing people having sex. So, yeah, your holy victory there for martyrdom never was, never will be. You're literally sinning all over the place, killing, murdering, cutting heads off. If you think anything good's going to happen to you, you are absolutely wrong. You were led astray, and I'm sorry for that, but, Jesus showed up and gave you advice, and, you either follow it or you don't. And for Islamic countries, I guess you didn't. But I also understand that Islam isn't exactly spread, as a religion of peace. It's more of a religion of, swords and axes and stuff like that, right? If you don't go along with the system, if you don't agree, they'll kill you. They'll kill you, beat you up, ostracize you, whatever the case may be. But let's look here. Let's see. I'll get the video going here. So just outsider perspective looking in at what happens here. Let's see.
Cars and buildings were set on fire in
Cars and buildings set on fire. Very nice.
Niger's capital, Niamey.
And unfortunately, these poor kids are being brought into it right here. They're growing up looking at this. This basically looks like hell on earth, at least this day, for now. Someone over here, probably not their vehicle, probably just looting stuff. Kids are being taught to loot, set things on fire. Like, this is the example they're seeing. How do you think these kids are going to think when they grow up? Not only that, they're going to grow up thinking, well, Muhammad ran around lopping heads off and taking war brides and making slaves and doing all this stuff, so it's totally fine. Like, it's Muhammad, right? That's God's prophet. Not at all. Absolutely not. If I had to guess, I don't think Muhammad's anywhere nice right now. But look at these poor kids. Back to what matters. These poor kids, right? They're growing up in this. This is the environment they grew up in. This is what they see. And this is going to basically dictate who they're going to be when they grow up. This is what they know. So let's see here.
On Thursday, after hundreds of supporters of a coup gathered in front
Things
of the
on
ruling
fire,
party
just burning.
headquarters. Young
Here we go. This person just bought a chair at the local store. He's taking it home.
looted motorbikes, chairs, and
Oh yeah, they must have had a sale. They got a couple of chairs.
other supplies from the building.
Nice motorcycle.
Other demonstrators waved Russian flags and
Russian flags. Yeah. Birds of a feather flock together, right? If you're supporting Russia with all that's going on in the Ukraine right now, yeah, you're definitely not on God's side, that's for sure.
to anti-French slogans, echoing a growing wave of resentment towards former colonial power France and its influence in the Sahel region.
Look at this.
The demonstrations came as Niger's army command declared support for the coup carried out the previous day by soldiers of the Presidential Guard. Army Colonel Amadou Adjum
Yeah. If you don't like how things are going, I guess you just get violent and take over, right? It sounds like what Muhammad would do, for sure.
announced on state television that all political party activities have been suspended.
The entire country is shut down, it seems like.
A group of soldiers announced in a late-night televised address that they stripped President Mohamed Bazoum of power. Juntas in neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso
Nice. Rolling around with guns on the back of jeeps. This is absolute loss of rule of law.
have grown closer to Russia
Faso.
since they took charge in 2020 and 2022 respectively.
And if you'll wonder why some things in these African countries and other countries like are very similar, they have the same false religion. So there you go.
They cut ties with traditional Western allies. Niger's
You would never see Christians, or you should never, if they're actually taking God's advice and they're following the way, they definitely wouldn't be doing this. But yeah, you definitely wouldn't expect to see a bunch of Christians sitting around burning down buildings, cars, looting things, beating people up, cutting heads off, things like that. Nonviolence is the answer. Like, that's what God expects of us. I understand that there are self-defense situations, just like in Ukraine, right? Where you've got some crazy person who's like bombing you and setting off white phosphorus bombs all over you. So I get it. Sometimes you have to defend yourself. That's true, because evil does exist. But if you don't, if you dislike your government, the answer is not to go out and set the entire city on fire, start burning things down and breaking into buildings. That's not the answer. It's nonviolence. That's what God expects, right? That president was democratically elected. I wasn't there. I don't know how fair the election was. I would assume it was fair. No one's really complained until now, and now for whatever reason they're all upset. But yeah, this is not how you act. God probably has to sit back and watch this and probably just cry, because it's extremely sad.
had become increasingly important for Western powers, helping fight a violent insurgency in the region.
Violent insurgency. Now, what is that usually attributed to? Jihad, Islamic jihad, things like that, right? Violence. Because they're following the example of a false prophet who was violent and raped and killed and took war brides and did everything else under the sun because he worked for the other team.
In a social media posting on Thursday morning, Bazoum vowed to protect hard-won democratic gains. In separate comments on Thursday, the head of African Union Azali Assoumani condemned the coup and called for Bazoum's release.
Wow. Interesting. So I've got some other cool facts up here. I did not realize that they had all these little facts online, so thank you, CIA. This is awesome. They have like all the demographics and everything. Got some cool little maps over there. It's pretty neat. Glad I found it. So let's see. Ethnic groups. All right, there we go. Languages, French official. Occupation. Here we go. Right. So this is going to be one of your main problems right here. This Muslim 99.3%. You're always going to have issues. Always. Because they're following the example of a false prophet who loved violence and rape and murder and everything else. Like, basically Muhammad was like, I want you to believe what I believe. And if you don't, well, I'll just kill you. I'll take all your stuff. I'll kill your husband. I'll take your wife. I'll make her my bride. I'll make her have my kids. Like, that's how he operated. You think that guy was sent from God? Running around raping and pillaging everything? Absolutely not. Wrong team. But yeah, anytime you have a country here with 99.3% Muslims, you're going to have an issue. It's because they're following a false religion, and a religion, literally, it's really not even based on God. It's mostly based on what would Muhammad do. They might as well get like the little bracelet, right? Like, what would Jesus do or whatever? Like, what would Muhammad do? Oh, Muhammad? Well, you just cut your head off, right? Go into your town and take it over. If you don't like him, he'll just kill you, right? Sit outside your village, wait to see if you're having like mosque prayers. And if he doesn't hear it, he'll just come in there and take everybody out. So, yeah, you're always going to have problems with violence. Any kind of 99% Muslim community, yeah, you're going to have issues, especially with female rights, things like that. So, and I really feel sorry for these 0.3% Christians. Put your head down. Yeah, go underground for a while, because it's probably going to get rough, unfortunately, because Muslims, you're not allowed to have any other religion, especially ones that are true. Oddly enough, look at this, right? 0.3%, they're actually correct. Incorrect, being falsely led, 99.3%. That's the position Niger is in, and many other African countries. So, moving along, but yeah, Christians, keep your head down. Everything will be corrected. We'll put them on the right path. We'll get them on the way, but it's going to take a little bit, probably. Population, median age, 14.8 years. I've just started looking at this book recently, so I'm definitely going to, like, as I look at other countries, like, I'll be using this information. It's really good. So, thanks, guys. But yeah, that seems extremely young to me. The median age is 14.8. That seems really, really high. Fertility. I honestly thought this was a mistake. I didn't even think this was humanly possible. I really didn't. The fertility rate, 6.73 children per woman. How in the world is that sustainable? I used to be a project manager. And I mean, children are expensive, right? You have to raise them. It does cost money. You know, you need money, unfortunately. You had to put them in schools and things like that. And, you know, maybe they want a car. Whatever the situation is per your country, whatever those social norms are. But it's not free, right? You're going to have to spend something to raise these kids. I don't have any idea how you expect to raise 6.73 kids. And I personally, and I can ask my fiance, but I don't think she would want to have 6.73 kids. That is absolutely unsustainable. Because we only have this one earth. So I'm sorry, but we can't have people having 6 and 7 children apiece per female. That is unsustainable. I don't think you'll be able to raise those children properly. You won't be able to spend enough time with them because you'll have too many of them. You know? That is outrageous, 6.73. So you definitely need some family planning over there. Get married to one wife, not 4. It's not 4. It's 1. You get one wife. So make sure you love her because you're in it for the long haul. But yeah, 6.73 kids, you can't do it. You're going to get one wife, not 4. It's ridiculous. But yeah, these are going to be a lot of your problems. You need family planning. So yeah, birth control is totally okay. Unfortunately, we don't have an unlimited amount of space. We've just got the earth. That's it. That's all we have. God gave us this one beautiful planet and we have to use it. But there are only so many resources on that planet. So no, every female cannot have 7 kids. That's not going to work. Right? I'm not saying you start killing babies. I'm saying you plan your family, right? You get together, you get engaged, you get married, then you have your child. You know, hit your replacement ratio, that's fine. But we don't have enough resources for people to be having almost 7 kids apiece per female. That's outrageous. And you're going to have all sorts of problems in your economy trying to find jobs for these people when your median age is 14.8 years. I mean, I'm not an expert on this topic. I'm sure other people that are, you know, by all means, they can comment on that. But I'm sure that causes problems in your economy. That seems outrageous. I don't know if we need to go through the rest of this or not. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Okay, it's locking up anyway. But I guess that's it for that. But yeah, you can see. Definitely problematic. Once this computer's not locked up, I could go show you the rest of the map there. But yeah, Islam, unfortunately, is a false religion that has led many people astray. It will continue to do so until it is stopped, until people actually do the research. Because if you ask a Muslim, you know, or someone who follows Islam, right, they'll say, oh, well, that's what Muhammad would do. Okay, well, Muhammad was a horrible person, right? Muhammad is not someone you want to emulate. And you definitely, if anyone in my family acted like Muhammad, I would never talk to them again. And probably when I die, I probably wouldn't see them again. So, yeah, all this needs to get corrected. He was a horrible example. It's a horrible religion. You know, there are a lot of religions out there that are causing people to be led astray, which will absolutely impact you. Hinduism is one of them. But we'll get to that in another video. So for now, that's all. I just wanted to kind of go through it and just show you how horrible it looks to watch people sit around and burn things and steal things and just act like absolute criminals, just tearing the place up. So hopefully things get better over there. You know, we'll be praying for peace. And if you're any Christians over there, definitely keep your head down until all this, you know, goes over. But yeah, it's rough out there right now. So let's all just pray for the folks in Niger that they come to their senses and that they end things peacefully, you know. Hopefully they can use their mouths, you know, and not their hands. So that's it. But, you know, as always, God loves you. And, you know, I'll make some other videos probably later on in the week. But have a great weekend, and we'll chat next time.